Hi guys, this is the first time I am trying to do a recording from my screen. I also using my phone so I can show you the part that we are going to try to replicate. I did place an order for a webcam as my computer doesn't have one. But it will be here in a few days. So this will have to do. The first thing that I need you to guys do is each person has a preference on what program to use for making 3D graphics. I found this old program is called 123Design on the web. I've been using it for almost 2-3 years, and you can download it. Let's see. You can download it right here at https://autodesk123d design. You can pick the language. It's in English, it comes in Spanish, I saw Dutch, French, and few others. So you don't have to set it to English. Download the 64-bit version if your computer can handle it, because it's actually better and faster. Another program that this program works with is MeshMixer, and you can download that at www.meshmixer.com. I don't know if it comes in different languages, but I do believe it does, because it's a program that is out there for a while. We are not going to use MeshMixer today as we are not there yet. I'm going to show how to design a part. Today we are designing a simple part. It's very simple, and I'm going to show you how to create it. So first of all, let's start with Autodesk. And this is the file that you can set it. Now you can go to this question mark right here and go to preferences, and you can change in your options. You can change your size grip. If this is a good idea, auto save. What happens is that for some reason I will let you know that the program has a glitch. When it gets to when you are doing something complicated and it has a lot of parts, what's going to happen is that the computer is start thinking. And if you don't have a good video card, and even with a good video card, which I have, I find myself having to wait sometimes minutes for it to refresh or to save. It is a glitch. Now, if you have something simple, it won't do it. I have set it up to not save because I don't want to bother with this right now. Another thing that you can do is set the languages, and also you can change the languages here. You can don't check for updates because there's no updates. And Alexi, units and grids. I'm working in inches because I live in the United States, and that's what we use here. It is not recommended. The inch values are not the most desirable thing to have in when you're recreating a part. Millimeters are better, but I don't know how to use it. And yes, I can set up my caliper and set it to millimeters, but I'm not familiar with it. So why I'm not gonna bother with that. The size grid is 14 inches this way by 14 inches that way. It is the size of my printer, which I'm using an Artillery Sidewinder X1. I have other printers, but I have decided that I like this printer. I love this printer, and I would prefer to keep using this printer. Um, excuse me. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is when I started using this program, I did not know how to use any of these things. I still don't know how to use a lot of those things. Um, but with practice and a little patience, you will learn how to use this program. This program is very simple. You don't have to give all your information online. You don't have to worry about re-registering or downloading it. Once you download it and save a copy, I would recommend save a copy on a thumb drive or in another part of the computer. So if it is stopped working or something, which hasn't happened to me, that way you can reinstall it. It is very small, it's very simple. You don't have to download, put your name out there or anything. Once downloaded, you have a AutoCAD program. This thing was made by, uh, I believe it was Tinkercaps. I think that's how they used to call it. And then um, AutoCAD programs bought it from them, and they were trying to develop this into something more powerful. But then they decided to create something that people would have to go online and register and things, and so they can make money out of it. Of course, um, for me, this is going to work. So first, I'm going to show you how to create a small part today. I'm going to try to use this part fast, so that way we can, just in case if it is get disconnected. Um, the first thing you're going to need is a caliper. Very important. This is your number one tool that you're going to be needing, a caliper. Um, if you don't have a caliper, it's going to be very hard to do anything. This is your first tool that you probably want to go get from anywhere. Again, mine is set to inches because that's what I use. And I'm going to take some information about this part. And what we want to do is write the numbers down in a piece of paper. So that way you don't need to go back to the part if you don't want to. So let's grab a piece of paper. And let's take some measurements. We probably want to draw the part. And what we need is the measurement of your part, the thickness of your part. This is another section of the part, so we need that number also. And we also need the thickness of the part. Now it has also 4 screws. So what we need from there is the diameter or where the center of those holes are. So what we need is this number. Also, we are going to need the size of those holes. So let's go ahead. And my first measurement, I'm going to set this to 0. And I'm going to measure 0.7835. I'm going to select, your printer will never be able to match these numbers. So what I do is I know that my printer prints 1 decimal bigger. So what I do is 0.79. Okay, so now on here, I'm going to write down the first number, which is for the biggest part, is 0.79. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is this section here is 30.34. Go back here, 0.34. Measure the holes. Point 10. So these holes are 0.10. The thickness of this is let's 0.0965. I'm gonna round it to 0.10. So go back here, 0.10. Going to measure the holes in those 4 holes. Actually, I measured it. I'm going to measure the distance between the center of those 2 pieces. Now, it is very hard to measure the center to center without very big precision, but we know the diameter of those holes. So all we have to do is measure the inside diameters and add 0.10, because we already know that the part was 0.10. So my number says 0.458, which is 0.46. Adding 10 is 0.56. So I go back here, and I know that those holes are 0.56. All right, let's see. Also, the hole in here, I know for a fact without measuring that it is 0.125. And now all we need is the size of this piece. And it shows me 0.11. So I'm going to do 0.11. All right, so now we have all the numbers that we need. So now let's go back to the, I'm going to put this on the side. I'm going to take a quick picture of that. So that way I don't use my screen anymore. I'm going to send the picture to my messenger. I'm going to send myself that picture. Done. We can disconnect this. We can turn this off. I can go to my messenger, Facebook. Download that picture that I have, minimize it. I'm going to leave it there because we need to do those numbers. I don't understand why it doesn't want to leave. Well, anyways. All right. So now, going back to this, this is something I was working on. I'm going to create new, don't save. This is my screen, and I want to create this part in here. Let's start with a big bottom section. We select the shapes. We can select boxes, spheres, cylinders, and a few other items. Today we are working with plain cylinders. Cylinder, it comes automatically with these numbers. This is where you change it. So the radius, it is half of this. it will create that object with half of that number. So we know that is 0.56. Half of that is 0.25, 26.27, 28.25, 0.28. So 0.28 tap, and we know that the height of this object is 0.10. 0.1, and enter. I can click on here, and it will tell me what size this thing is. And as I can see here, it's 0.56, 0.56 by 10. Now, this is actually the size of the whole location, which I don't need that right now. But anyways, that's okay. I can start with this. I'm gonna press Control and C to copy that object, Control V to paste it. So now there's two objects there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change right here and scale. I'm going to scale this new part to the size that I need, which is 0.79 right here. So 0.79, enter. And this number 0.79, enter. Just want to make me look bad today. All right, so now we have the outside shape, and we have where the holes need to be. Perfect. Now remember, we copy the center, so it's still in memory. So if I Control V again, I get another circle. So now we have 3 circles. I want to recreate this into this part. Click, scale. The size of it is 0.34. So 0.34. 0.34. And the height was 0.11. So 0.11, press enter. Now I have my outer diameter where the hole is supposed to be, and the part that is supposed to be on top. I can try to click here and move, and try to move this down. The thing is that I will never know where the center is. So there's a neat tool that you can snap. So snap this to this, and it is perfectly set up. Now, again, we want to Control V, and we have another object, and we're going to create the holes. The holes, I believe, I'm going to go back to the numbers, and the holes are 0.10. So 0.10, tap 0.10, and now this, no, 0.10, 0.10. I need the height of this thing to be bigger. it doesn't really matter. I'm going to put a 1/2 inch. Now, I'm going to try to, I haven't found a way to tap this into that line yet. So I'm going to move the object. I know it is set to 0. I know it's set to 0, and I know that I have to move this to this center, which is half of 0.56. So all I have to do is move this object to half of that number, which is 0.28. And now I know that that's my first location. Now with this, I can copy, paste, and now move this to the other side, which I'm going to move it to 0.56. And now I have 2 holes. There's supposed to be 4 holes. So what I'm going to do is click here and here, Control C to copy the objects, Control V to paste it. So now there's 2 here and 2 here. I need to rotate this to 90 degrees and press enter. So now we have this part almost made. We don't need this section anymore because this was for guidance. So we can click it and delete. We don't need that part anymore. Now, in order to make the holes, you click on combine. Instead of merging, you want to subtract. You want to click on the object that you want to keep and the objects that you want to remove and press enter. Now you have the holes. I need to create another hole in here in the center. So I will control copy and paste. I know that that hole is 0.125. Remember that we looked at it right here. So now I'm going to back into the Smart, 0.125, 0.125, and the height, I want to go big, 0.5. Actually, I can go down. Now, if I try to subtract this from either this or this, what's going to happen is I'm going to work only with 2 objects. So if I subtract this from this, it's just going to create a hole on this one, not on this part. If I subtract this part from this part, it's just going to make the hole in this one. It won't create it on both unless I combine these 2 objects together, which I don't mind doing. So go to combine, merge, click on those 2 objects first, and now they're together. Once you click, they're together. Those 2 files are together. Now you go back to subtract, click, and remove the part, and now you have the hole there. Now, our original part has geared for a servo. I uploaded a servo gear for a HD 2060, which is a large servo, and I also did a MG90 for a small servo. So you could use those files to remove those and create the teeth here. So for example, let me create my teeth. I will go to import a 3D model, browse on my computer, select the 60 kilograms gears, and I'm gonna snap this object to here, and I'm gonna bring it down there, and then I'm gonna subtract it. This minus that, press enter, and now I recreated that part exactly as we started and as we needed. Go ahead and file, save your part to, I'm going to put it on my document. I created a place called accessories and parts, so I know where, if I need any file, they're here. As you can see, this one says 25 kilogram, which the holes are smaller. So I'm going to create this same thing, but I'm going to change it to 60 kilograms and press save. Now that part is made. All right, guys, I believe that this is my first time. Excuse me for my for the wrong words. um, I'm trying to teach as best as I can. Remember, my website is DARARobots.com. It is still under construction. So if you send me messages and say, hey, Fernando, add pictures of this, or why don't you create a page for that, or put your files there. I'm still working on it, but all your recommendations will be glad. I would welcome all those recommendations. So go ahead and send me recommendations. Remember to also subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com, youtube.com/c/dararobot.com. Oh, you don't have to remove add another com. It's just DARA Robots. If you go to YouTube, you can just type DARA Robot, and you will be able to get in on my YouTube channel. Subscribe, because I'm going to start creating videos on how I make my parts. I also going to show how to do MeshMixer. MeshMixer, what you're going to do is to create more organic parts. If you see this part here, it is very square. It's generic. But if you want to create shapes and mold it and sculpt it, that's what we're going to use MeshMixer later. First, I want to teach you the basics. These files, I usually send them to Thingiverse. So if you go to Thingiverse.com and type either Willy1067, which is my username, or you can type DARA Robot, you will get to it. There's files for the hands, for the feet, for the head, for the chest, for the arms, the hands, and many, many other things that I have created for DARA. So, all right, let's cut this off and have fun. Hope you enjoyed this video.